If you've been told to cut back on fruit because of your blood sugar, I want you to hold that thought for the next few minutes because what I'm about to share might completely change the way you think about what's on your kitchen counter. There are certain fruits that instead of spiking your blood sugar may actually help keep it steady, and one of them is probably sitting in your fridge right now, being avoided for no good reason. Here's the truth almost nobody explains clearly. Not all fruits behave the same way inside your body. Some fruits cause a quick spike and then a crash, leaving you tired and hungry an hour later, but others release their natural sugars slowly, work together with fiber, and may even support healthier blood sugar levels over time. Today, we're going to walk through the top 3 fruits that fit into this second category, why they work the way they do, and how to enjoy them the smart way. And stick around because the third fruit on this list surprises almost everyone, including people who've been managing diabetes for years. Before we get into the fruits themselves, let's take a moment to understand why this topic matters so much, especially after 60. As we get older, our bodies naturally become a little less efficient at processing sugar. Insulin, which is the hormone that helps move sugar out of your blood and into your cells for energy, doesn't always work as smoothly as it used to. This is one of the reasons blood sugar issues become more common with age, even in people who never had any problems with it earlier in life. For someone living with diabetes or even prediabetes, managing blood sugar isn't just about avoiding a health complication down the road. It's about how you feel every single day. Stable blood sugar often means more consistent energy, a clearer mind, better sleep, and fewer of those frustrating energy crashes in the middle of the afternoon. On the other hand, blood sugar that swings up and down repeatedly can quietly affect your eyes, your kidneys, your nerves, and your heart over time. That's why food choices matter so much and why something as simple as fruit deserves a closer look. Now, many people believe that fruit should be avoided altogether if you have diabetes, simply because fruit contains natural sugar. But this is where things get more nuanced. Fruit isn't just sugar. It's sugar wrapped in fiber, water, and a mix of vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds that can influence how your body actually absorbs that sugar. Think of fiber like a gentle brake pedal. Without it, sugar rushes into your bloodstream quickly. With it, that same sugar is released more gradually, giving your body time to keep up instead of feeling overwhelmed. This is exactly why some fruits are far more diabetes-friendly than others, and why blanket advice like avoid all fruit often does more harm than good. The goal isn't elimination, the goal is selection. Let's start with the first fruit on our list. Fruit number 1 is berries, and this includes blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and blackberries. If you only remember one fruit from this video, let it be this one. Berries consistently rank among the most supportive fruits for people managing blood sugar, and there's real reasoning behind why. First, berries are naturally lower in sugar compared to many other fruits. A cup of blueberries, for example, has noticeably less sugar than the same amount of grapes or mango. Second, and just as important, berries are packed with fiber. That fiber slows down how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream, which means less of that sharp spike and crash pattern that can leave you feeling shaky or foggy. There's also something interesting happening at a deeper level. Berries are rich in natural plant compounds called polyphenols, particularly anthocyanins, which are the pigments responsible for that deep blue, red, and purple color. Some research suggests these compounds may help support how the body responds to insulin, though it's important to be clear that this research is still developing and berries are not a replacement for medical treatment. Think of it less as a magic solution and more as one more helpful tool working quietly in your favor. Here's a simple, real-world way to think about this. Imagine 2 people each having a small bowl of fruit as a snack. One person has a cup of grapes, the other has a cup of mixed berries. Even though both bowls feel similar in size and satisfaction, the berries are likely to cause a gentler rise in blood sugar, largely because of that fiber content and lower overall sugar load. Same snack habit, very different internal response. If you want to make berries part of your routine, here are a few practical ways to do it. Add a handful to plain Greek yogurt for breakfast. Toss a small portion into a salad for natural sweetness without the need for added sugar. Or simply keep a bag of frozen berries in the freezer, since frozen berries retain most of their nutrients and are often more affordable and convenient than fresh ones. Just be mindful of portion size, since even a healthy fruit can affect blood sugar if eaten in very large amounts. Now let's move to fruit number 2, and this one might be sitting in your kitchen right now without you realizing how helpful it can be. Fruit number 2 is apples, specifically apples eaten with the skin on. Apples often get overlooked because they're so common, but that familiarity hides some genuinely useful properties. The skin of an apple contains a good amount of fiber, and that fiber matters more than most people realize. In fact, much of an apple's fiber content comes specifically from the skin, which is why peeling an apple actually removes a meaningful part of its blood sugar-friendly benefit. Apples also contain a specific type of soluble fiber called pectin. Soluble fiber is a kind of fiber that dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance in your digestive system. This gel slows down digestion, which in turn slows down how quickly the natural sugar in the apple reaches your bloodstream. It's a bit like adding a speed bump on a road. The sugar still gets where it's going, but it arrives at a much more manageable pace. There's another detail worth mentioning here. Apples have what's known as a relatively low glycemic index compared to many other common fruits. The glycemic index is simply a way of measuring how quickly a food raises blood sugar after eating it. Foods with a lower glycemic index tend to cause a slower, steadier rise, which is generally more favorable for people managing diabetes. Let's use a relatable example. Picture someone who used to enjoy a glass of apple juice every morning, believing it was a healthy way to start the day. Unfortunately, juicing removes most of the fiber, leaving behind mostly fast-absorbing sugar and water. That same person switching to a whole apple, skin included, is likely to notice a real difference, not just in blood sugar response, but often in how satisfied and full they feel afterward. This is a small change, but it reflects a big principle. It's not about giving up fruit. It's about choosing the form of that fruit that works with your body instead of against it. If you'd like to bring more apples into your routine, try pairing apple slices with a small handful of nuts or a spoonful of natural peanut butter. The added protein and healthy fat can further slow down digestion and help prevent a quick sugar spike. Apples also make a convenient portable snack, which is helpful for staying consistent with healthier choices throughout the day. Now let's talk about the third fruit, the one I mentioned earlier that tends to surprise people the most. Fruit number 3 is citrus fruits, particularly oranges, grapefruit, and lemons. Many people are surprised to see citrus fruit on a diabetes-friendly list because oranges in particular have a reputation for being sugary. But when you look closer at the full nutritional picture, citrus fruits offer some genuinely valuable benefits for blood sugar management. Whole oranges contain a meaningful amount of fiber, especially when compared to orange juice, which strips away almost all of that fiber during processing. Eating a whole orange means you're getting natural sugar alongside fiber, water, and plant compounds that work together, rather than getting a concentrated dose of sugar with little to slow it down. Citrus fruits are also rich in vitamin C and various antioxidants, which support overall health, including a well-functioning immune system. While vitamin C isn't a direct blood sugar regulator, maintaining strong overall health plays an important supporting role in how your body manages chronic conditions like diabetes over the long run. Grapefruit deserves a special mention here, along with an important word of caution. Grapefruit has been studied for its potential role in supporting healthy blood sugar levels, and some research suggests it may have a modest effect on insulin sensitivity. However, and this is genuinely important, grapefruit is well known for interacting with certain medications, including some medications commonly prescribed for diabetes, cholesterol, and blood pressure. If you take any prescription medication, please check with your doctor or pharmacist before regularly adding grapefruit to your diet. This isn't about causing alarm, it's about making sure you can enjoy the benefits of this fruit safely. Here's a simple, everyday example to help this make sense. Imagine someone who typically drinks a large glass of orange juice with breakfast, believing they're making a healthy choice because it's fruit-based. Now imagine that same person eating a whole orange instead. The whole orange delivers natural sweetness along with fiber that slows sugar absorption, while the juice delivers a fast, concentrated hit of sugar with very little to buffer it. Same fruit. Two very different experiences for your blood sugar. To bring citrus into your routine in a smart way, try starting your day with half a grapefruit, provided your doctor has confirmed it's safe with your medications. Or enjoy a whole orange as a mid-afternoon snack instead of processed, packaged snacks that often contain hidden sugars. Adding lemon juice to water or to a salad dressing is another simple way to bring citrus flavor into your meals without adding any meaningful sugar at all. Now that we've walked through all three fruits, let's take a moment to talk about a few common mistakes people make even when they're choosing the right fruits. The first mistake is portion size. Even the healthiest fruit can raise blood sugar if you eat too much of it at once. A general guideline many healthcare professionals recommend is roughly 1 serving of fruit at a time, which might look like a small apple, a cup of berries, or 1 medium orange. Eating fruit in reasonable portions, rather than large quantities all at once, helps keep your blood sugar response steady and predictable. The second mistake is eating fruit on its own, especially on an empty stomach. Pairing fruit with a small amount of protein or healthy fat, like a few almonds, a slice of cheese, or a spoonful of nut butter, can help slow down digestion even further and create a gentler impact on blood sugar. The third mistake is relying heavily on fruit juices and dried fruits, believing they carry the same benefits as whole fruit. As we discussed earlier, juicing removes fiber, and drying fruit concentrates its sugar content into a much smaller volume. A small handful of raisins, for example, contains far more concentrated sugar than the same weight in fresh grapes. Whenever possible, whole, fresh, or frozen fruit is almost always the better choice. The fourth mistake is assuming that because a fruit is natural, it has no effect on blood sugar at all. Natural doesn't mean unlimited. Fruit still contains real sugar, and for some people, especially those with more advanced insulin resistance, even fruits that are generally considered blood sugar friendly may need to be enjoyed in smaller portions or at specific times of day. This is where personal awareness becomes so valuable. This actually brings up an important point. Everyone's body responds a little differently to food, including fruit. Some people notice that berries barely affect their blood sugar at all, while others may see a moderate rise depending on portion size, timing, and what else they've eaten that day. If you're able to check your blood sugar at home, keeping a simple note of how you feel and how your levels respond after eating these fruits can give you valuable, personalized insight over time. And if you ever notice unusual symptoms, persistent high readings, or anything that concerns you, please don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor or a diabetes care specialist. This video is meant to provide general education, not personalized medical advice, and your healthcare provider knows your specific situation best. Let's also take a moment to talk about timing, because when you eat fruit can matter almost as much as which fruit you choose. Many people find that eating fruit alongside a meal, rather than as an isolated snack, leads to a gentler blood sugar response. This is because the other components of the meal, like protein, fat, and additional fiber from vegetables, work together to slow down overall digestion. For example, adding a few berries to a bowl of oatmeal with a spoonful of nut butter creates a more balanced combination than eating a large bowl of berries by itself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Another helpful strategy is choosing fruit earlier in the day rather than late at night, since physical activity throughout the day can help your body use that natural sugar more efficiently. A short walk after a meal that includes fruit, even just 10 minutes around the house or yard, may also help support a steadier blood sugar response. This isn't about strict rules. It's about small, sensible habits that work with your daily rhythm instead of against it. Let's bring this all together and recap what we've covered today. Berries, particularly blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and blackberries, offer lower sugar content and high fiber, along with beneficial plant compounds that may support healthy blood sugar responses. Apples, especially when eaten with the skin on, provide soluble fiber that slows digestion and helps prevent sharp blood sugar spikes. And citrus fruits, including whole oranges and grapefruit, when eaten whole rather than juiced, deliver natural sweetness alongside fiber and beneficial nutrients, though grapefruit does require a quick check with your doctor if you're on certain medications. The bigger lesson here goes beyond just these three fruits. It's about understanding that fruit, in its whole natural form, can absolutely have a place in a diabetes-friendly lifestyle. The key isn't avoidance, it's making informed choices, paying attention to portion sizes, pairing fruit thoughtfully with other foods, and listening to how your own body responds. Managing blood sugar isn't about perfection, and it's definitely not about fear. It's about small, steady, sustainable choices that add up over time. Every piece of fruit you choose thoughtfully, every walk you take after a meal, every conversation you have with your doctor about your specific needs, all of these things contribute to feeling more in control of your health rather than controlled by it. I'd love to hear from you now. Which of these 3 fruits surprised you the most today? Maybe you already knew berries were a great choice, but didn't expect citrus fruit to make the list. Or maybe you've been avoiding fruit altogether and this video has given you a little more confidence to bring it back into your routine the smart way. Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, feel free to share how old you are and where you're watching from. This community is full of people on similar journeys, and hearing from one another often helps more than we realize. If you found this video helpful, consider staying subscribed, because we regularly cover practical, trustworthy topics just like this one, all designed to help you feel informed, confident, and empowered on your health journey. Thank you so much for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.